Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show, the Redman Line. I am your host, the Dean. How's everybody doing today? Let's go ahead and get this party started right. For a lot of you guys out there, let's go ahead and chop this up. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, guys. Well, this show right here is being brought to you by the Online Brotherhood. This is the Fraternity of Excellence. Join the Online Brotherhood. Also, it is brought to you by Tactical Soap. Guys, make sure you go to Tactical Soap to get information on Tactical Soap. Also, this show is being brought to you by Tate's The War Room. Make sure you check that out. And last but not least, this show is being brought to you by the world's ultimate event for men, the 21 Convention. That's going to be held in Orlando, Florida, and that is going to be October 24th through the 27th. And if you want to get your tickets, you can go to the21convention.org/, and that's org/America for right now, and get all the details you like from that point. How you guys doing? I hope all you guys are doing well. I guess I'm running this thing solo, so it's all good. But this is I just want to welcome you all to the show, guys. If y'all have any questions, make sure y'all post them. We already have a question already in there that I will post and answer as well. But guys, if y'all want to call in, y'all can call in at 515-605-9373. That is 515-605-9373. I am your gracious host, the Dean. Class is in session, and we are here to talk about the friend zone. And we are going to pretty much discuss how you get there, why it's going on, and what you can do to technically avoid being part of that. I think for a lot of guys who are new to all of this, as far as trying to understand women and trying to understand relationships, I think a lot of people forget the fact that I can remember when all of this stuff kicked off, and we are definitely going to talk about that. But I'm going to see that question right there. I'm definitely going to answer that question in 1 second. But I remember a time when they really didn't have any shows out there for guys that hung out with women. I think it started in the late 80s, gentlemen. I mean, this is how old it is, but I want to kind of give you a timeline because a lot of you guys who what we call the 21st century male or 21st century guy, you probably came into this and thought it was the norm. But at one time, it wasn't normal for men and women to hang out. And I think where it started was they had a show, I think it was called Saved by the Bell. I think that was the first show that they had. And that show was about a bunch of kids hanging out together, three guys and three girls hanging out together. Yeah, keyword, hanging out together. And then after that came, I think, Seinfeld, Beverly Hills 90210, Melrose Place. And as it kept gaining traction, there was shows like Martin, Living Single, Friends came along, and like How I Met Your Mother. These were shows that had or trying to change the narrative of how things used to be, because men and women rarely were spending time together on a hanging out type thing. I don't remember. I remember watching a show called Three's Company where Larry would always smash. I mean, it was always smashing. But the one thing I think most of those shows did correctly, gentlemen, is that those shows always had the bad boy in there. They always had, at least they tried to give it balance. Even though everybody was hanging out, there was always that one loner type guy who was smashing everybody. But I think for a lot of you guys, have been indoctrinated with a lot of TV shows now. If you turn on the TV, all you see are the lions hanging out with the zebras, just hanging out, spending time together, and these quote unquote pod relationships started where everybody just started hanging out, and that was the way you started a relationship. A lot of guys didn't know how to talk to women, so what they did was they would hang out in groups, and then from the groups they would establish relationships, kind of like the Friends thing and like Living Single, Martin, all these shows. You found relationships within the group, and that's how it usually went, and that's how it's going right now today, where a lot of guys out there have no idea that these things that are happening right now are really out of nature for most men out there. But also, what was also backing up most of this stuff was basically what happened as far as TV, media, all these things. There were so many things out there pushing an agenda to water you down, defang you, and declaw you, and force you to feel like if something's wrong with you if you don't have a woman friend in your life. Something's wrong with you if you don't hang out with women. And for a lot of guys, they wanted to follow the narrative, and what they started pushing, even on TV and TV ads and commercials, they were pushing those kind of agendas where you would see beer commercials, you would see all kind of commercials where all you would see are pod relationships, where a lot of these guys don't realize, well, I gotta fit in, and the only way to do that is hang out with women. But in doing all of that, number one, and also what happened with quote unquote your family dynamics was also a reason why you became more more defanged. And I kind of want to guide you through all of that. And guys, if y'all want to call in, you can. But I kind of want to guide you through that to give you more understanding and clarity of why you are what you are right now. We have a call. Let me bring in the call real quick. 661. Did you have a question, sir?
Oh, sure. I had a question. I love listening to your show, man. I guess my question is, what do you think about women telling little white lies? For example, say you don't want a woman to smoke cigarettes. She'll tell you, I don't smoke cigarettes. But then, damn, you may look inside her purse and see she smokes cigarettes.
Yes.
I think that's just to their nature. They'll just tell these little white lies. And in my opinion, that's something most men, if they value their word, they don't really do that. They don't really tell lies, little white lies at all. They just tell the truth. Women, they will tell these little white lies because they feel like maybe it doesn't even matter.
Well, okay, hey, listen, that is an awesome ass question. Let's go on that real quick. Think about this for a second, 661. See, the reason why they get away with white lies is because we allow them to get away with it. See, one thing that we got to start doing, 661, is that we must start living by our standards and not just saying that, okay, for me, okay, 661, I'm like you. I don't like women that smoke. That's a turnoff to me. It gets in your clothes. It gets in your skin. Yeah. It's a bad taste in your mouth. I don't even do booty calls that, and maybe it's rare, but I don't even do booty calls that smoke. Really. I just I don't do smoking at all. But what is important that we must do, 661, it's important to let the person know that I don't do smoking. And even if she gives you, okay, like you said, she says, I don't do it, but you say you found it in her purse that she had cigarettes?
Well, yeah, it's not something, I really think about often, but yeah, I just noticed, I'll say like, well, I don't like women who smoke. She'll say, well, I don't smoke. And then, I mean, obviously there's a pack of cigarettes, so I'm like, okay, you smoke. And I think, maybe it's because she's insecure because, I mean, I've noticed this about women I work around. They'll have, smokers cough or something. They're only fucking 20 years old, excuse my language, but like, cool. They start smoking these cigarettes in like high school. And then by the time they're 22, which is supposed to be, their best years, they're already got a smoker's cough and everything. And I'm like, no, I take notice of that. And those are not the women that I want.
Okay, but here's my question I'm asking you. Once you realize that she is not who she says she is, and you found out that she does smoke, my question to you is, what did you do about it? Did you call her out on that and keep going, or did you remain with that person? What did you do?
Well, I don't really call her out or anything. I just take a mental note of it. Like, okay, there is some manipulation going on.
No. 661. Okay, listen to me, my brother. Listen to me. You are king, okay? You are king. And whatever you want, you have to set that law for yourself, okay? And you said it yourself. You don't like a woman that smokes, okay? Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
So let me ask you this
question. Okay. I don't like it.
Okay, you don't like it, but so let me ask you this question.
Even from a child, whenever I'd see, my parents, especially my mother, smoking a cigarette, I just always felt it was a very ugly habit. Or my grandparents,
right.
And then it also comes from them smokers always telling you, never smoke. But then you see them take a smoke break every once an hour, right, or whatever, So to me, it really was something that I.
I understand your why, but here is what I'm asking you, and this is an important thing that you must start doing. If somebody does something that you do not like or approve of, you don't make mental notes. That's the problem, the mental note. Because what you're saying is I don't like you smoking, but okay, you lied to me, you're smoking, and even though I don't like smoking, I'm still going to be around you, even though you're doing something that I don't like or approve of. That's not what we do as men. And those are the sacrifice times, 661. Listen, she smokes, you don't like smokers, so guess what? We're not compatible. There's no mental note. See, the thing is that what men need to start being is more cut and dry. You know what I mean? Don't give a woman wiggle room, especially when she has lied to you. Number one, she does something that you don't like, and she's hiding it from you, right? Right. So don't give her don't mental note yourself, say, okay, this is one bad thing and I'm gonna keep this in it. No, listen to me. If I don't like smoking, that is my law, that is my rule, that is my code, that is my narrative of who I am as a man. When you look up Williams under my name and there is a legacy and a vision and a mission statement somewhere in there, it says I don't deal with women that smoke. I don't mind drinking. I don't drink, but I don't mind drinking. But smoking is
I don't drink either.
Right. But what I'm saying, for me, smoking is a no-go. If you smoke, do not even bother to call me, talk to me, or spend time with me, because for me, it's a turnoff, right? So this is what y'all guys have got to start doing. No more mental notes. If that is something that you are adamant about, that is something that you have to press upon anybody that you talk to, that I don't do smoking. And if you smoke, hey, listen, I'm not here to stop you from smoking, 661, to her. I don't want you to change for me. That's just who you are. But you and I cannot be, because I don't do women that smoke. Does that make any sense, big dog?
Yeah, it does. It makes sense.
Right.
No tolerance.
Right. Remember, I tell you all the time. See, let me tell you, here's a problem with a lot of guys. Most guys who end up in the friend zone we're talking about, they have what is known as high tolerance. Now, for you, I would say you would be a low tolerance kind of guy. That means this: there are some things that you are adamant about that you would fight for, and then there's some things that you don't. Like this situation where you made a mental note instead of get rid of her. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got to get you to,
I see what you're saying.
yeah, we got to get you to no tolerance. And that means, look, I know she might look good, body, all those things, but the problem is the smoking. It gets in your skin, your clothes. It's a bad, it's just disgusting. And again, I'm not knocking a smoker, but to me, for a woman to smoke, I don't even want to. I don't even want to deal with it.
Ugh.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't want to deal with it. So guess what?
Yeah.
If you smoke, I respect that. You know what I mean? But you and I cannot be together. And let me tell you why, as I told you how did it come up about smoking anyway? How did you find out that she was smoking?
Well, I mean, it's I think something she'll do. Maybe she picked up from other people, being social and stuff like that, very impressionable. But I don't really know. I mean, I don't smoke and I don't drink at all. So and she does both. So I'm like, I don't really say anything about it. Like she just asked me today, hey, tomorrow I'm going to be going to, the one to have some wine or whatever. And I'm just kind of like, whatever. I don't really care because if I want to go out, I'll go out too. And honestly, I don't really like going out with her that much, because when I go out with her, she's very needy, sticks around a little bit,
Okay, but that's another subject.
Too much.
But what's important? This is what's important for a lot of men to understand, because a lot of men do. It's not that. Listen, it's not bad that you're doing it. It's just that you don't know what you're doing. When you have a principle that you don't stand by, she loses respect for you, even though she's fine with it. Whenever she's like, okay, he says he doesn't like smoking, but guess what? He ain't going nowhere. You see what I'm saying? He's not going anywhere.
Dude, you're so right about that. It's reminding me of the death by 1,000 cuts or something like that. I've heard that before about how with women, a lot of the times they got to win the small battles,
Yeah, but
and break you over time.
Yeah,
they got to win those small battles.
Right, and but again, it starts off with something like this. Because in her eyes is this: if he's this adamant about smoking and he's letting me slide, then what else is he going to let me slide on? What else is he just going to make a mental note on? Oh, I'm sorry, I slipped and fell on someone else's dick. I'm sorry. I know you're adamant about me being with another guy, but don't worry about it. You'll make a mental note of it. Oh, you know what? You're adamant about someone throwing things at you, smacking you around and disrespecting you. Oh, don't worry about it. You'll just make them. I'm telling you. See, I'm not trying to make you guys into assholes, but I'm trying to make you into an asshole, because this is something that does not go on with a man. If you don't like it, you have to be honest enough with that person to say, look, this is not going to be, I'm not tolerating this. And this ties into the friend thing. We're going to tie this in there, but you cannot give a woman wiggle room. And that's what you're doing. And unfortunately, you're losing a little respect. And it's not a lot of respect. But what I'm saying is, it's you know how you have a little seeping hole, like when you're driving, there might be a little hole in the tube, and it slowly drips. And you notice it, but you really don't notice it.
Mm-hmm.
You look under your car, you see a few drips, like, whatever. And then one day, your car starts to overheat. You like, what happened? And you check, and there's no more fuel left, right? Because no more radiator liquid, because it dripped out. And what I'm saying to you is that I know you might like her. I know you might care about her, but you've got to like and care about yourself that much more to make a decision not to be with somebody that you don't feel adamant about what they do, their behaviors, because this is important it's got to be that important to you. 661. Does that make any sense?
Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So what I would say now, again, you do it on your time, but I'm telling you, you've got to start training yourself to have a standard that is unbreakable and it doesn't even bend. It doesn't bend. It doesn't break. This is who I am. This is what I like, and this is what I don't like. Now, please, understand this. There are compromises. I mean, not compromises, negotiations. Excuse me. No compromise, negotiations. Meaning that, okay, steak or chicken, that's one thing. But if I don't like smoking, I don't like smoking. And I don't care how sexy you look. I don't care how great we are chemistry-wise. If I don't like smoking, you and I cannot be together because of that fact. And if I am with you, I deserve everything you do to me after that because you're going to see me as a fraud. Because have you ever told her you don't like smoking?
Yeah, for sure.
Right, but think about this.
Well, she knows how I feel.
Wait.
She's even said she doesn't like smoking.
Right, but
that kind of just.
But look at your foundation. You're saying I don't like smoking, and yet you're around someone that smokes. So how can she respect you on anything that you say or you tell her not to do? I don't want you to be with other guys. Okay, whatever. I want you to respect our relationship. Yeah, right. Okay, sure, I'll do it. No, and I know it sounds crazy, but I'm saying one thing can lead to a lot of other things when you're not holding your standard. And you've got to be able to do that, man. And that's what's going to make you more of a man in everybody's eyes. The greatest thing that you must learn is sacrifice. And sometimes you got to sacrifice her looks and her body for something that you're adamant about. But if you give in on something that you're adamant about, then guess what she says? I can change him, I can control him, and I can make him what I want him to because he's too afraid to go, or he's lying, or he has no standard. 661. Does that make any sense, brother?
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it's more so of just kind of like you said, not to, but it's just a mental compromise in some sense. But I know, I mean, that's a slippery slope, but it's more so of a mental compromise. Like, for example, today, come home, see a cigarette, kind of put out over here in the windowsill. But I mean, we live together. So what do you do?
Well, let me ask you a question.
You smoke cigarettes, get out.
But wait a second. No, wait. So hold on a second. You knew she was smoking before you moved her in, right?
It wasn't necessarily on my mind. I've never seen her smoke. She's never let me see her smoke.
All right. Listen to me, fam. Okay, this is what. Okay, this is.
Honestly, I'd probably roast her if I seen her smoking. Like,
I know that, but okay, this is what I'm trying to get y'all guys to see how men do things, how men did things of the past. They didn't play. There was no wiggle room. There is no we're going to have marriage counseling because you smoke. Listen, you smoke. I don't like it. You're gone. That's it. And it's not a straight threat, but this is something okay, this is what I'm saying to you. You moved her in. You don't like her smoking, and yet she's still smoking. You walk into your apartment, and there's cigarette butts in your house. Where is the respect? Not only did she not respect the fact
almost to be found too.
Well, but
it's like a little game because if you want to hide something, you can hide it,
Right, but
so it's like, oh, let me put this out here just so it can be found,
Right, but this is the problem a lot of you guys have because y'all have never been taught to have a standard to live by. Listen, I know she's living with you right now, okay? But here's the thing. That's like, okay.
I guess that'd be my next question.
What's that?
What do you do when you're kind of living with a woman, and you kind of get in through the whole red pill philosophy, you kind of don't want to live with her anymore. Well, she's more so living with you. And then, like, what do you do with that woman? I mean, what do you do? Like, she's living with you. She's not necessarily just going to.
Are you in your bedroom right now or living room? Where you at right now?
I'm just, walking around in my living room.
Walk over to a light switch and tell me when you get over there. Go over to the light switch. Walk over to a light switch in your house and let me know when you get over there.
All right, I'm by the light switch.
Turn that motherfucker on and off. Turn it off and on.
All right.
There you go. That's how easy it is. Let me tell you something. You said all I'm doing is taking what you're saying and I'm putting it through my man mindset, okay? She smokes, you don't want her
Yeah.
there, right? Am I correct? I'm only taking what you're telling me. She smokes, you don't want her there, right? Right?
Yeah, 100%.
Whose
I'd
name
rather not,
whose
at least
name
not live with her.
whose name is on the apartment list? Is it yours or hers?
Mine.
Okay, there you go. Listen. I'm not telling you to do it like what a man would do, because you ain't ready to be that cold turkey and be real about it. So you can't go that kind of cold turkey. So you got to kind of slow roast this thing. But what I'm saying is that she should have never been living there in the first place. She should have never been in the first place, because you're not happy. You don't want her there, and you're trying to figure out how I can tell someone I don't want them there. Well, guess what? You tell them you don't want them there anymore. This is not working out anymore. That's the beautiful thing about being a man. And these are the things I'm telling y'all guys that will either put you in the friend zone or the I don't respect you zone, or what's even worse, the I allow you zone. We'll be talking about that as well, guys. But what you got to start, let me bring my boy Bruno's in, but you got to start doing, let me bring my dog in here. But what you got to start doing, man, I got him in here. George, how you doing, brother?
Good.
Oh, I can't hear you. Wait, you're muted again. Let me see something. Wait, say something. Hold on, son. Let me see if I can get George. George, can you say something?
Check 1, 2, 3.
Okay,
check 1, 2, 3. Good.
George, George, I don't know if you was listening, but we have a guy that is with a woman that is smoking, and he doesn't want to live with her anymore, George. And she said she lied to him about smoking. What say you, George, on what he should do?
Hold on 1 second. I think you have to make those decisions before. That's a deal breaker.
Yeah.
You have to know what your deal breakers are. And because if you compromise on your deal breakers, you're cheating yourself and you're going to be miserable. And simple as that.
He said
I'm with you on I'm with you on the light switch. I mean, that's perfect.
Deal breaker?
Yes, George says a deal breaker. Yeah. See, and we got to get ready to get to the show, 661. But what we're trying to tell you is this.
All right, peace.
All right,
I'm gonna listen.
All right, well, 661. Listen, okay, just all right, go listen. We'll tell you. All right, but you got to make that decision, man. She's got to go. All right, she's got to go, man. All right, thank you, 661.
All right, man. Thanks for the advice.
All right, much love to you, man. Thank you, 661. All right, we're here with George, my dog, my ace in the hole, man, and we're talking about the friend zone. And Georgia, before you came here, I was kind of explaining to these guys how it kind of started. You remember, like in the 80s, when they started coming up with all these TV shows where guys and girls would hang out, like Melrose Place, Seinfeld, Friends, Beverly Hills 90210.
Yep.
They were just indoctrinating people to make them think that, okay, this is the norm. You're supposed to hang out. The lions are supposed to hang out with the zebras and have fun in the Serengeti and stuff. What say you, George?
It pretty much enticed an entire generation, maybe even 2 generations of people to think that they could just get along and be buddies. I went to a college that had male dorms and female dorms. They were not mixed. So it wasn't like all get along, one happy party, and just sex every night. I went to the kind of literally the female dorms were on the other side of campus, male dorms were on this side, and then we would have like an open house where women were allowed in and men were allowed in the women's dorms, that kind of thing, and it was like a party kind of thing. At the end of the party, everyone had to go. All the ladies had to leave the dorm. And what it did was it taught the men that there's a time and place for everything, a start time and a stop time. So college wasn't one big giant party and, orgy kind of thing. And that was pretty radical and pretty old school, if you think about it, compared to now when, the first time, some nerdy dude is going to college studying engineering, he's got some hot cheerleader in the room next to him. It's just not good. And then, of course, who gets all the girls? The jocks and the good-looking guys and the social guys. And, the geeky dudes, they feel kind of left out, whatever. And what happens is the geeky, nerdy guys, the antisocial guy, I shouldn't say antisocial, the asocial guys, they end up believing that, okay, I can't get the girl, so I'll be friends with her. And what happens is that just sets a man up for disappointment in the future when he's hanging out with I've got an unlimited supply of females in my life. I choose to be with one. And I find that when I was just like everybody's buddy, as fun as it was, at the end of the night when it was just like all hugs, love ya, and all this kind of bullshit, I found it to be very unfulfilling. Very unfulfilling. And it built up resentment in me as a guy who can get women pretty easily. I found it built up resentment because the reality is this: you spend time with a girl friend and you're hugging each other. You might kiss each other on the cheeks, or you go to a movie together and you might have your arm around her, that kind of thing. And I've seen guys do this where, like 3 months down the line, he goes to plant a kiss on her, and then she pushes him away and says, it's not like that. We're just friends. And in his head, he was building up a relationship with her, earning his right to be with her when she really was interested in somebody else. So I think it creates false expectations and creates the scenario for a lot of letdowns for a lot of young men, even women. I know there's a lot of women that, there's women that write me and communicate with me in private messages and so forth. And I try to keep it as professional as possible. I try to keep it as friendly as possible. What I don't want to do is I don't want a woman somewhere thinking she's got some kind of private relationship with me that's just exclusive. Just me and her got this thing going.
Yeah.
Unless two people make it real clear that there's a relationship, there's no relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of guys, unfortunately, they don't know how to talk to women nowadays, and they don't know how to approach, how to text, what to say. So what they try to do is what we've always say on the streets is cheat the game. And basically what they try to do, like you were saying, George, is that I'm going to become friends with her. And just like on these feminine Lifetime TV shows, that if I just hang in there long enough, the sun, the moon, and stars will line up maybe 5 years, 4 months, 12 hours, and 13 seconds from now. And she's going to turn around and see me as the guy that she's always had in her life and just finally notice it. And I just got to hang in there, love her from afar, and pretend that I am not sexually interested in her. I've got to sit around and look at her with the cutoff dresses, the tight clothes. I got to seep through the hugs and the shoulders to cry on, and eventually it will be my turn. And all these guys, then they get mad at the woman when she's always like, you know what, you're like a brother to me. You're a sweet guy. And wait, and before I say this, guys, and I can speak for George, and I'm not this is love and respect for George. George is a good man. George is romantic, smooth, and we talked about this before. But the difference between men like George and myself and the majority of you guys out there is that I don't do friends. Now, I have female associates, George, but if you look good and I want to get at you, guys, listen to me. If there is an ounce of attraction you can't be friends. Let me give you an example. George is my dog. I don't have an ounce of sexual attraction for him at all. George and I are friends. But if I see a beautiful woman with a nice body and there is an ounce of attraction, guys, there cannot be a friendship. That's why men need to be with men, not in a sexual way, hang out with men, excuse me.
Yeah.
And be honest with women. She knows you want to sleep with her, George. She knows that you are trying to backdoor, and she knows she can play you like a fiddle. And what I want to do is I want to read this question right here, George, that says, what does it mean when a chick says, George, we are friends? What's your take on that first, sir?
You're not sexually involved, and she has no plans of being sexually involved.
Absolutely.
Plain and simple.
Yeah. Hey, you guys, you know what that means? That means that whenever you text her and message her, she's giving you one-word answers every 3 or 4 hours or every other day because she doesn't want to hear from you. That means she talks about other guys in front of you. That means that when you try to get close to her, she'll start telling you, listen, I call them kill words, George. I call them kill words. I listen. I know I'm a nice guy and I'm cool. I'm a nerd, a geek, George. But let me tell you something. When a woman tells me that I'm sweet, now there's difference between being sweet and sensual when her and I are at our place and she's sipping on some wine and I'm drinking my cake, Sprite and orange juice, George. I don't drink. That's one thing when she tells me, okay, you're sweet and smooth, da-da-da. But death words, sweet, kind, nice, gentle, understanding, caring, thoughtful. You listen. Oh, yeah. You're great to be around.
It's over.
Kill me. Hey, George, you might as well just run me over right now. Whenever a woman says that, George, kill me. But, hey, George, the hotbed words, asshole, jerk, conceited, arrogant. You always think about yourself. You're cocky, charismatic. You want to do, those are hot button words, George, and I want to get your take on that. Those are hot button words, meaning that, you know what? She doesn't want friendship with you, George. She wants to get your pants. What say you, sir?
Well, the word that I get is I'll be interacting with a woman and she'll just say, man, you are dangerous.
Oh, yes.
And I know exactly what that means. That means it's just what she's saying is that she is putty in my hands.
Yes.
That, like, I am giving myself to you. I am approaching danger. I am yours.
Yes. Yes.
Now, I've always said this too, that a wise man doesn't always take advantage of those situations. I've been called dangerous on many occasions. Whenever I go out anywhere, I'll be sitting in a lounge somewhere, at a party somewhere. Women find their way up to me. I don't have to go to them.
Mm-hmm.
Start talking.
Yes.
You get a little bit flirty and you know what words to use. And she says, man, you are dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I might smirk and give her a little wink or something like that. And you just know where it could go. You know, right then and there, you know early in the game. You don't have to talk to a woman for 3 hours to find out where you stand.
Yes.
If you think you do, then you just don't get it. You don't get it.
Guys, I'm gonna break down what George said. Okay? Dangerous. When a woman calls you dangerous, calls you a ladies' man, says that you're a player or one of those guys, what it means, guys, is that she knows that there is something inside of her that is something that she can never control, gentlemen, and get your crayons out, and it is called attraction. See, most of you guys that end up in the friend zone, you're going for the like. I want her to like me. So I'm going to do everything I can to get her to like me. But when a woman sees George and he says dangerous, that is something that she cannot control, because attraction is an uncontrollable thing that a woman cannot even run away from, no matter how far, no matter what state, what city, or what planet she tries to run away from a person that she finds dangerous. What she's saying to George is this: I know I'm going to lose control. It's just a matter of, it's not a matter of if, excuse me, George. It's a matter of when. And if I hang out with you long enough, we don't have to, we can bypass all the, what do you do for a living? And, where you work? And it's like, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
It's like her putting her hand on your leg. It's her looking to your eyes. When she looks at, gentlemen, get your crayons out on this. This is important. George hit a huge thing. When she says dangerous, that's the woman that will think about, you're the last person she thinks about when she goes to bed. You're the first person she thinks about when she wakes up in the morning. And in between that, she hurries. She wants time to go fast because she can't wait to get back to George. Meaning when George wakes up, he'll already have a text message saying, "Good morning, George. How you doing? I just want to let you know I'm thinking about you. George, what are you up to? Are you busy? Oh, George." And guess what? That also means, real quick, that she begins to tell George, not that he's dangerous, but she'll start to compliment George. Maybe it's her eyes that she likes on George. See, dangerous goes into the next phase of her beginning to compliment George on George. Maybe it's the way he holds his wine she likes. She'll notice that. Maybe it's the clothes he wears. She'll notice that. The cologne he has on. She'll notice that. The way his hair is styled and how his beard is. She will notice little things in George, but she is going to make sure that George knows that she is interested in him. George, what say you, sir?
Yeah, there's times when working in the hair industry, there's times where I would be, in the past, like washing a woman's head. A woman comes and gets her hair done, and I'd bring her back to the bowl, and I could just tell she was getting transported somewhere else in her mind as I am massaging her hair, giving her a scalp massage, running the water down her hair, patting her face with a towel, squeegeeing the water off her hair, sitting her up. There were times where I could just see it as, where they're just like leaning with their head back as I'm washing their hair. All right. When I wash a man's hair, this is how he leans back in the bowl. He does this. When I've washed a woman's hair, she leans back and I see her smiling, because I'm being gentle with her. And that's how I operate in life. Some people, I like to say it's choreography. It's, you're orchestrating all your moves. You're using gentle, loving hands, and people imagine them. They imagine themselves with you when you're like that. There's times where if I was in a crowded bar somewhere with a woman and somebody wants to get by, and I put my hand, like someone's trying to walk by, and I put my arm on her waist and just like move her so the other person can get by. I could tell when I put my hand on the small of, kind of like between the side and the small of her back above her hip, and just gently move her aside, she felt electricity. or if there was a time where it was like too loud, the band is playing, the music's really loud, and I would say, why don't we go somewhere where we can talk? So you go to the other side of the bar, or you go outside, and I let her lead the way. This is what I do. Let her lead the way, but I have my hand like above her butt on her lower back, and I'm guiding her through the crowd. Like, go left, go right, that kind of thing. And I could see where that was really, I don't want to use strong language like turning her on, but it was moving her. Or if I lead the way, I extend my hand behind me, like, here, hold my hand and I will guide you. And instantly they take your hand and you can just walk right through the crowd with them. And that's something that I just taught this when I just did a live stream on my channel, George Bruno on YouTube. And I said, men need to learn the concept of follow my lead.
Mm-hmm.
Say those 3 words. Like, who says that in life? No one ever says that. I look women right in the eye, and I'm not trying to be the most interesting man in the world. I'm not trying to be Don Juan or anything like that. I'm not trying to be suave. But I'll just say, why don't we go somewhere, why don't we go somewhere where we can talk? And just say, yeah, because we're tired of like yelling yelling towards each other with the loud music. And I will look her in the eye and say, follow my lead. Follow me. And at that moment, she'll follow you into hell. She'll follow you into a burning house at that moment. And you didn't have to work for that. And I'm not talking like this is after 3 hours of buying her drinks and manipulating and trickery and bullshit.
Yes.
And posing and, throwing out the lines, the smooth lines that you learned at some like weekend, dating extravaganza.
Yes.
Something like that. Or you read a book or you watched a video or, like whatever. It works. And it works pretty sudden.
Guys, 515-605-9373 is the number. And if you have a question, guys, please put it in the chat room. We will also not only answer the question, but we will also post it on the show here so we all can see it. I want you guys to understand why the majority of you guys, if you keep behaving the way you behave right now, why you're going to end up in the friend zone. And please understand this. And this, before I even tell you the why, I need to tell you guys that the level past friend zone, because let me explain something to you guys. And I trying to give you all some game here. I'm not saying, and I'm never saying that if you're in the friend zone that you can never get out of it. No, it's going to put you on a different pathway called the allowed zone, George. That's what I call it. When you have an allowed relationship. And an allowed relationship means is that she is going to have sex with you when she wants to have sex, or she allows you to touch her. She allows you to kiss her. She does things on her time because there's no chemistry, there's no passion, and there's no her wanting to rip your clothes off. When you go in through that friend zone, and some of you will come out married or in a relationship, it is going to be an allowed relationship where she does not have any See, y'all guys don't understand passion. Y'all don't understand desire. You don't understand a woman wanting you so bad that she can't wait to take your clothes off. She rips them off. She can't wait to go in the bedroom. She'll throw all the stuff off the table and have sex with you on the table. See, that's where the pathway we're trying to get you on. But the pathway y'all seem to be going down is this friend thing. And let me explain to you guys how this happens. No, we do have a call. Bring it in 1 second. What I want to tell you about, I'll wait. Gosh, we got to take calls first, George.
Go
I
ahead.
got to say, but we'll take the call real quick. Area code 818, sir. You're on, sir. What say you? What's your question and comment? And then we'll get George to answer it myself. What's up?
Hey, fellas. How you doing tonight?
Good.
Hey, what's up?
Good. My question was for Phil Jackson over there. I'm just considering Kobe's past. Do you think that he could ever have a relationship with a woman and it be strictly platonic?
I don't. Wait. What do you mean, Kobe? What are you talking about, sir? Explain that.
Well, again, my question was for Phil, but in light of Kobe's past, do you really think that men and women can be platonic friends?
I don't. Wait a second. Who? What? Okay. How old are you? 818.
I'm old enough to know who Phil Jackson is, and that's who you got on your show. I want to ask him a question.
Okay. Well, let me. Okay, before you. Okay, let me say something here, because I'm all about. I be respectful until you be disrespectful. You're the reason why women treat you like a bitch, because you sound like a bitch and you calling in like a bitch, and I'm gonna hang up on your bitch ass. I'm sorry, Joyce. See, this is what I'm talking about, and y'all wonder why y'all don't get women. And you wonder why they don't want to mess with you. I'm going to use him as an example, George. See, the problem with you guys that you got to understand is this, and I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm going to use that cupcake that called in as a prime example. Why would a woman want to invest in somebody that acts more like a woman than a man, gentlemen? Why would she want to invest herself, her time, and her body into guys? I didn't say men, George. Into guys that act more like women than men. George, what say you on that, sir?
There's a lot of guys who try to be a buddy to a girl. As I said when we talked about the friend zone last week, shoulder boy. You are not shoulder boy. Let someone else do that. Let someone else be shoulder boy. Shoulder boy is never dangerous. You want to be the dangerous guy, and your dangerousness exists with or without a woman. That's how you live life. You take risks. You're confident. You know that if you play a hand and it doesn't work, you just go to the next one. That's it.
Yeah. There's a thing, and that's a very that's Rob, exactly. False prophets. Y'all guys, the majority of y'all guys, y'all want women, but you're following people who can't even get a woman if she was right in his face. And y'all are following these guys. And y'all wondering why that when she looks at you in investment terms, that you don't fit the bill as dangerous. The dangerous man is the man that can walk up to a woman and not even make it about sex, because he already knows sex is on the menu. So he doesn't make it about sex. He makes it about his time. The dangerous man is the man that can woo a woman with little words. The dangerous man can text, talk. He can put a note on a dove and make her tingle between her mind and her legs. The dangerous man is the one that she can't wait for him to ask her to go out on that second date. Or she'll push it to saying, you know what, forget about the bars and the dinners. Why don't we have dinner at my place? Or let's go to your place. Those are the ones that she is going to invest in. She is not going to invest in an individual that is more worried about Kobe Bryant and Phil Jackson. You see that? See that, guys? Men worried about other men. You hear that, guys? Men thinking about other men. You see, us, George. You see, that's something there's something in the water, guys. When men are asking about other men. I'm just saying. Hey, George, I'm just saying it's just something weird going on. But women notice it as well. Women know themselves and they know individuals that act like them. When you cannot communicate to a woman on what it is you want without sounding like a dirt bag or sounding inconsiderate or disrespectful, they recognize that stuff, George. And this is why it's important to, like you said, Rob, these dudes are listening to false prophets. This is why it's important that you guys have to start kicking the tires of the individuals you listen to and see if they can really get women. George, what say you, sir?
I took my daughter out for her 23rd birthday last week. My daughter just turned 23 yesterday. And took her out to dinner. Waitress came over to the table, was taking her order. And I'm looking at the waitress, making eye contact with her. And she messed up an order. And she goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. She goes, I just kind of got a little confused." And then she went away, went back to the kitchen or whatever. And my daughter looks at me and says, she says, "Dad, see what you did there? You made her forget. She was so focused on you." She goes, "I saw what," my daughter said this to me, "I saw what you did, Dad. I saw that." And I thought, okay, all right, because I don't want my kids to see, play a dad. All right, they don't need to see that. They need me to be their father, not to be, I'm not trying to impress them in any way. And 90% of the guys that are on YouTube talking about relationships and women and female nature and the female imperative are full of shit. Let's get real. They're full of shit. They're ugly ass internet losers who are all theory, zero practice, talking about notch count, coming up with all kinds of theories listed A through Z, 1 through 10. There's a word going around, right? It's been real big in the past 2 or 3 weeks. Receipts. Do you have the receipts? And I get that. And a man who can doesn't always have to. Just because you can doesn't mean you have to. I could have so easily gotten that waitress's number so easily. That was just the next move that was going to happen right there. And but I was focused on my daughter and celebrating her 23rd birthday, and we had a great time. But there's a time and place for everything.
Right.
And it was important for my daughter to see that night was about her. Yes. It was about her celebration, not about daddy being smooth or anything like that. My kids could care less if I'm smooth. They think I'm funny. My daughter was like laughing at me. She just thought, "Oh my God, Dad, I saw that. That was so clear what was going on." I said, "Yeah, it was, wasn't it?" Yeah, and
yeah,
you get all these so-called experts out there. I don't give a crap how many books you write. Seriously. It's a shame. I guess the term false prophets really is a good it really is a good term to use. A really good term.
Yeah, well, Well, George, my birthday was Tuesday, and let me tell you.
Yes, happy birthday! I remember. Yeah,
and check this out, George. I go to the I don't know where I went, and I don't know how I even got into my birthday, but this is what George is talking about right here, guys. I know how it went because she needed to look at my ID for something. I forgot what it was. She noticed it was my birthday, and she leapfrogged past happy birthday, George, and started telling me about her life. I mean, just see, let me explain what George is trying to say to y'all guys that y'all don't understand. Game recognizes game. That's the best way I can describe it. There is a group of men that can tell who has game and who doesn't by just what they do, how they interact, and how laid back they are. You see, a master doesn't have to show a student that he's a master. And that's the problem with a lot of guys. They're saying, okay, well, prove to me that you are that guy. As men, we don't have to prove anything. You should already know by standing in front of somebody that really has game, the information that he gives you that is not generic, that is not whitewashed, predisposed, came out of grabbing this and pulling this out. That's how you can tell real game, guys. And I hate using the word game, but what I'm saying to you guys is that I never ever met. I've known George for what, 6 months, maybe, or maybe it's been a few months. I've known George, but let me tell you this much: I'm a whore. I ain't shit. But when I met George, I knew George was a bad motherfucker. George didn't have to talk to me. As soon when I met the first time I met George, you know. You just know when you meet your own. You just know that there's no that you George and I can just sit on the porch and he can smoke his cigar and I just drink my cupcake ass orange juice and pineapple, and we can just sit there and chill, and we know what we can do. Why? Because we can chill. We don't have to run out and go after women, because the odd thing is, guys, is that they come after us. We don't do much work. And the reason why we don't do much work, and this is why I keep trying to tell you guys, is that 90% of you guys do the work for us. You push them towards George. You push them towards me by your behavior, by the things that come out of your mouth, the things that you think about. You push those women to George. Like I say, George can sit down and order a omelet or I don't know, some pancakes, and by the time he asks for the receipt, the woman has just told him her life story, what her relationship status is, what she likes, and what she's looking for in a matter of less than an hour. 45 minutes, because women can recognize, like I say, just like how we men can recognize those who are in the game. You don't think a woman can recognize a man, like George said, dangerous? You don't think a woman, George doesn't have a neon sign over his head that says, I'm dangerous. No. You can just look at George and tell. Man, guys, I wish I could tell you all the story. Just talking to George, man. This is great. Well, I'm sorry, George. It's great talking to this man. But what's so great about George is that the thing that women don't rarely see, and I'm going to throw it to George in a second, is that they don't see real. They don't see truth. They don't see honest. They don't see, they just don't see it anymore. So when they do see it, it's a rare occurrence, and women will go after that because it's rare, because all they get, like George was saying, are the pickup lines, the boring conversations, and the guys that don't know what they're doing. Any woman can get around George and know that this guy has skin in the game, and they want guys who have skin that know what they're doing and not just playing by night, let's just go by ear, George. Let's see what happens. George thinks. George moves. That's how men do. We think, we move. We look at the chessboard. We're not playing checkers. We look 5 moves ahead. We see the end game. We see the possibilities. We're looking beyond the sex. And that's the weird thing, George. I want to throw it to you. Because what they don't understand, George, is that the more you don't make it about sex, the more sex you get, because a man that gets it doesn't even talk about what he's getting. George, what say you, sir?
In the past year, I have, all right, so I've been single for 16 years now. And I went through my phase of dating a lot, and the revolving door, the whole bit. And have gotten more serious, not out of fear. Like I don't have this fear of like growing old alone. I like having a companion, someone to go out with, somebody that's predictable. And for me, it's like having the same dance partner every week. If you have a new dance partner, let's say you go out dancing somewhere. If you have a new partner every time, you're learning how to dance with them all over again. And some guys, it is kind of thrilling. It's kind of fun. But the reality is there's nothing like being with someone who knows how to dance with you and honors and follows your lead. And that's a beautiful thing. And that's something that you practiced long before you got that person. How do they talk about you when you're not around? When they're talking to their girlfriends, what do they say about you?
Right.
They third parties, when other people look at you as a couple, what do other people observe? Do they see you cooperating? Do they see you, like we talked one time, having a party? One of the best ways that you can get to know somebody is to host a party with them. And she invites her friends, you invite your friends. The girls will look at her friends will look at the way that you treat her and just be completely envious. Oh my God, he is so good to her. The guys will say to me, do you see the way she's looking at you? I want my girl to look at me the way your girl looks at you. And you keep that going. And other people will recognize that. Other people, all of this Netflix and chill stuff where everyone's just alone in a room by themselves, that creates nothing that's enduring. It's how you cooperate, not just behind closed doors in a bedroom, but how do you cooperate in the kitchen, at a party, out and about, in a club, at a get-together? What do other people observe about you as a couple, if you're coupled up, that is? What do they observe about you? And, there's give and take, there's deal breakers and stuff like that, and you work through those things. But if you know who you are, what you want, what you're willing to compromise on, what you're not willing to compromise on, then you're looked at as a strong man, a man with purpose. I just did a show on my channel called Dating with a Purpose, rather than just playing the field. And women are attracted to men who are on a mission, who have a purpose. It's important. And one of the sexiest things and most attractive things about a man to a woman is does this man have purpose? Or is he just like a little tumbleweed blowing in and out of town?
Yes. All right. Well, we got a call, George. Let's bring this in. Long wait, 13-minute wait. 501. Did you have a question, sir? What's up?
Yeah, I want to talk to George.
What's your question, sir?
I've known George for a little little longer, I think, than you have. I guess we're going by George now. I know him best as Zen Master. My question is, three peats in a row. Why couldn't you ever win the fourth one? I mean, I know you had help. You had Pippen and Jordan and Shaq and Kobe, but you would think that out of all those runs, you could at least get a fourth out of one of them.
We're going to answer that. Hold on one second. We're going to answer that. George, and everybody get your crayons out. And I want y'all to listen. He couldn't even say a complete sentence to a man without stuttering, without oohs and ahs. You can hear in his voice that he was raised by mom. Don't worry, don't hang up for 501. Why'd you hang up? Why'd he go? Why'd he go? He's a prime, George. This is the prime example that y'all have to and George, and I want to tell guys something, a hard truth, George. I want to tell them a hard truth. I want to tell them a hard truth. Unfortunately, for a lot of you guys, that is how women see you when you are not a man. And the reason why I wanted y'all to hear his voice, I know he's trying to disrupt the show and all that other stuff, but he is very important to this show. And let me tell you why. Because if you listen to his voice, you listen to his cadence, he has already told me and George, or George and I, King's English, what his life story is. And if George and I know his life story from 2 seconds or 3 seconds of him opening his mouth, what do you think a woman thinks, gentlemen? She sees the whole story in a few. This is what we're trying to tell you, George. This is not a bad thing, George. That guy right there is what women see in most of you guys. In the first few seconds, just listening to his voice tells me a story. George, can I tell you his story real quick, George? Is it okay?
Yeah.
Can I tell you his story? Guys, let me tell you this guy's story from 5 seconds. And this is what women see in you guys. This man's story begins with him still having the umbilical cord attached to mommy. His story is about inconsistent discipline. His story is about coddling. His story is about not knowing coping skills or boundaries and smothering and acting more like a woman. So what do women do? They try to disrupt men. They don't want you to know this information, because if you listen to George Bruno, and he may give you just that one tool, that one thing that you can do to turn that tide around. Women don't want that. They want you to submit. They want you to be pitiful. But they also have these agents out here doing the work for them, the false prophets as well as the Smiths. This is not a bad thing. And I'm not mad, George. I'm not mad at him. But I need guys like that, because I need you guys to see what they see. I know y'all think, listen, George, this is deep. They need to see what women see. And when you heard his voice, that's what they see in you guys out there who don't know about manhood. George, what say you, sir?
I had no idea what the guy was talking about. Zero idea. I mean,
he was talking about basketball and you being Phil Jackson. But
who was Phil Jackson? I have no idea.
He's a coach from the Chicago Bulls. He thinks you're Phil Jackson. But George, what did you get when you heard his voice? What did you hear in the first few seconds when that male started talking, sir?
I have no idea. Let me put it this way. Men are clear communicators. A self-actualized, fully functioning male is clear in his communication. Period. Period. There's no ambiguity there. I had no idea what he was talking about. No idea.
Right. Well, okay, Omar. It's not the okay, Omar. It's not the danger in his voice. What I'm trying to tell you guys is that a woman will look at this guy or hear this guy and she will ask herself a simple question. Is he worth the investment of me giving him sex and affection? Is he what is he bringing to the table? And I don't mean financially wise. What is he doing that is going to separate him from all the other guys out there that are coming at me? What is he going to do? And again, what is the difference between George and that guy on the phone? You sit those two guys at a bar, woman walks in, she's going to look at George, talk to George for 1 minute, talk to the other guy for 1 minute. You want to know why she's going home with George? If George chooses to even bring her home. But that's his option because George is a bad motherfucker. But what she's going to see, she's going to see George is the kind of guy that has vision. George has direction. George is a leader. George is open and honest. George is fun. George made her laugh, made her smile, made her blush. George listens to understand. That's what she's going to see, guys, in the first minute. I didn't say hour. The first minute she's going to recognize a man, opposed to that guy that called in, emotional, blaming, victim, problematic, and acts more like a woman than her. So guess what? Guess who she's going to talk to? George, what say you, sir?
Attraction is pretty, you don't have to earn attraction and affection from a woman. You don't have to. I think as I've gotten older, I've tried less and less. And I haven't had to work for a woman. It's been so many years that I don't have to work. I don't have to try anymore. I'm confident alone as a single man, very confident, zero desperation. I go somewhere, I'm going to have a good time. I enter the room winning already. I make a decision as I leave the front door of my house that I'm going to win. I'm going to have a good time no matter what the outcome is. If I'm going somewhere to listen to a band, which I do a lot, I like going out and watching bands, and whether it be a rock and roll band or a dance band or something like that. And I'm just going to have a good time no matter what the outcome is, whether it's meeting someone or not. My goal in life is not to meet anyone right now. I just kind of, my affection and love and attention is going towards one woman right now, and I'm loving it. And it's kind of like focusing a magnifying glass. The sunshine illuminates, but when you take that light from the sun and put it under a magnifying glass, and it concentrates all of that light into a little tiny circle, man, things can burst into flames. So I have found that I'm more powerful when I focus all my energy now, anyways, towards one woman. And I don't put all my chips on one hand of cards, because if she chooses to exit or doesn't live up to my standards, and I'm not saying I'm better than anyone, but I know what I want in life. I'm confident. I have purpose. I have direction. I'm on a mission. And if she wants to join my mission, fantastic. And I like her, fantastic. And that's, what I have found in a lady right now. And if it leads to something permanent, then that's fantastic. Then all the better. Then that's a woman loving me and attracted to me just for who I am. I don't have to try anything. No damn trickery. No effort. It's not works based. It's not. I don't have to be anything. Like, for instance, when I turn this, I'm doing this broadcast with you. I'm sitting in my little smoking shed, and when I turn this off, I'm just like this in real life. Those that know me this is how I am in real life.
Yes.
I don't have to turn anything on. When I go out and about tomorrow night, I'm going to go out, go watch a band, going to a crab fest. So we're going to have steamed crabs and stuff, and I'm there just to have a good time, enjoy the music, enjoy some good food, exactly how I am now. It's not going to be. I don't have to turn on playa. I don't have to be, something that I'm not. I'm genuine. I don't have to turn on the charm. I just think when you take care of yourself, you have a good attitude, you want to do what's best for you, you put the right fuel in the gas tank, it's going to work out fine. Is it idealistic? Well, I do think we have to. I've been accused of being idealistic. And thank God for that. I'm focused. I'm not all over the place. Are there women that can throw me a curveball? Sure, of course. I've had curves thrown at me. Not everybody is 100% foolproof. I mean, let's get real about that. Even the smoothest guy can meet his match and get smoked by a woman. That's his fault for letting his guard down, or being too trusting too fast. You earn your trust. You earn a woman's trust by just being who you are. If you got to put a mask on and be something that you're not, man, that's a hard game to keep going. I don't put on a different persona when I go out. This is me. When I go out, if a woman isn't attracted to who I am, but she's attracted to a player, I can tell you right now, the player can't keep that game going forever. And what a woman sees in a man is his purpose, his mission. He's unwavering.
Yeah, that's true. And guys, we have about, 8 more minutes left in the show and everything like that, guys. If y'all want to call in, please do. But to sum all this up, guys, at the end of the day, everything that you think about or how you feel about yourself is going to come off on you, and she's going to recognize that, man. And hopefully through this show and Georgia's show and shows like this, that you guys begin to learn more about yourselves and realize that you have a lot of work to do, man. A lot of work to do. And you've got to understand that in this thing, that you're going to have people that don't want you to grow. They don't want you to get better. And they're going to do everything they can to prevent you from your growth. And what's important here is that you've got to recognize the feminine behavior. You got to recognize what people are doing to try to stop you from being a man, or it's going to be there all the time. Now, George, let's go ahead and end this out because someone had a question that they wanted to ask you, and I'll post it. George, talk about the 3-button plus beard and how that works, sir. What is that?
That's Eddie K from Pittsburgh. He's one of my homies going way back. The 3-button beard. What I talk about with the 3-button beard is the length of the beard. All right, you have a dress shirt on. First button, second button, third button. So the 3-button beard is a beard that goes down to about the third button. There's guys that have beards that they just look like they're homeless. And if you take care of yourself, I know Eddie K from Pittsburgh. I know he has a nice, consistent long beard. It's a handsome looking beard. He's a good looking guy. Takes care of himself. He's like me. He's got white hair. He's smooth. He respects men. He doesn't put other men down. And, a lot of young guys might look at an older guy with gray or white hair and think old man. But to use a phrase that you use quite often, that game recognizes game, someone like Eddie K from Pittsburgh, he's got it going on. I recognize that in him. He's a solid dude. And he knows what he's been following me for years. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. And he respects me and I respect him. And I've showed him a lot of respect in the past. And men respect each other. Even if they don't agree with one another, they can respect each other. The minute a guy gets disrespectful with me, I'm done. I don't need that crap in my life. And a gentleman recognizes another gentleman.
Yeah, I do like to end this right. We got Russell Moore. Let me help y'all guys out. All you guys that want to talk about old men, you don't think you're gonna get old one day? You think you're gonna live forever? Number one. But Russell Moore, sir, before you come on here and talk all the disrespectful things that you say, I don't think you know me and what I do. So let me introduce myself to you. I was going to talk about your goofy ass ears and your weak ass smile that don't get you any pussy. But then I felt sorry for you because when I go to your channel and I see that, and guys, y'all know how I do it, guys. Why don't we go on over to his channel? And this is why I'm gonna let him go, because I feel sorry for him, because any man, guys, come on, we're gonna take George. Let me show you how we do it, dog. Let me show you how we do it. Here we go, guys. No. Let me show him how we do it, guys. Go to his channel, man. I was gonna talk bad about him, but when you go to his channel and see something saying dancing to Dixie at the Saratoga, sometimes blues, hey, dog, you got it, man. You don't. Listen, let me tell you something, buddy. The last thing you want to do is come on this show and talk noise, especially when you go to your page and see that you are a weird individual. So I'm gonna let you go, guys. But y'all, hey guys, y'all can look on his page, and I don't even want to say anything, dog. Y'all can just look at his page and tell that, you know what, I don't even need to do what I do, Whiskey. Because look at his page. Y'all taking advice from a dude that don't know Phil Jackson. Really, come on now. Russell, what you need to do, dog, is take that Walmart jacket off, clean yourself up, and call us when you're ready to be a man. Because, dude, you need to slow down, big dog, because you don't know how we are. But I just wanted to show you I feel sorry for him. So I'm going to let him go because I feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for him. Come on, Russ. When you get some women, you go ahead and call us and let us know. But anyway, George, I'm sorry, George. I just don't appreciate. The thing I don't appreciate is, look, this is great information, and you always have the Russells of the world coming in with their $5 jacket, goofball-looking self trying to say something, and you ain't got a pot to piss in. Man, come on, dude. But you know what? Your ass is still going to be on here listening. Why? Because when we turn this thing off, George is going to smoke his cigarettes. I'm going to go chill, and you're going to be all alone trying to figure out what gimmick or what trick you can do to get that girl who you've been trying for 3, 4, 5 years to notice you. You want to know why? Because we can smell weakness when we see it. And any guy that posts a video like that about the set, dude, come on, dude. Hey, look, man. Come on, Russ. You gotta stop, man. Because everybody knows what I'll do. But I'm trying, hey, guys, LL Lewis, I'm trying to be the shepherd here. Because Russ, I'm gonna leave it alone. But anyway, George, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up, man. George, why don't you go ahead and give them your information and everything, and we will go from there. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I've got a YouTube channel, George Bruno. Follow me on Twitter, George Bruno. Follow me on Instagram, George A. Bruno. Facebook as the George Bruno Experience. And they are lifestyle channels, lifestyle social media sites where I just talk about life, not just about women. And I encourage men out there to be well-rounded, be Renaissance men, know a little bit about everything, and have get along. I always say this: learn how to get along with people, and then you'll automatically get along well with women. That's it.
Yeah, and I just want to let everybody know, if you want to learn to dance to the Dixie at the Saratoga, make sure you get with Russell Moore. He can show you how to dance Dixie at the Saratoga. But if you want to learn about being a man, you guys are in the right place. Listen to George Bruno. Follow the man mindset. We are here to help you. But if y'all want to learn how to dance to Dixie music, make sure you check out Russell Moore. He'll show you how to dance to Dixie music. Outside of that, guys, y'all have a good one, man. We appreciate you all. And like I say, I want Dixie lessons, George Russell. I want to know more. And what I'm going to do, because y'all know what I do, guys, we're going to find out a little bit more. If anybody knows me, we're going to find out some stuff, and we're going to have a little fun with this one. But anyway, we appreciate you, George, and this is a great show, man. We will see you tomorrow. The Red Man Group has a show tomorrow. Make sure y'all check that out. Also, guys, before we wrap this thing up, we want to also let you guys know right here, the 21 convention is going to be in Orlando, Florida, October 24th through the 27th. Make sure you get your tickets and all that good stuff. Well, George, thank you very much. I appreciate you. We appreciate
Pleasure.
you all, guys. Y'all have a good weekend. And George, if they want to get in touch with you, how can they get in touch with you, sir?
Just if somebody wants to write me personally, it's gb@georgebruno.com.
All right, there you go. And guys, y'all want to get with me, the man mindset at gmail.com. Y'all have a nice weekend, and we will see you guys next week. Thank you.